Welcome to the Google Author Hangout, or I should say the GeekDad Author Hangout with Hugh Howey on Google Hangouts. How's it going, Hugh?
It's going great, man.
Cool.
How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to talk to you again. So today is release day. It's the big day. So what does it feel like? You are finally got a real hardcover and a real paperback book in the United States that you're not mailing out yourself. Someone's doing the work for you.
Yeah, it feels nice. I think the ladies at the post office won't miss me today at all.
I'm sure. Well, you still have your other books. You still have all the Molly Fied you have to take down there yourself still, right?
Yeah. I'm still going a few times a week.
There you are. So let's get our audience caught up on how this happened. So I'll let you start as far back as you want to go. If you want to go back to the film deal to start, that would be a cool place for us to kind of catch up with you, or even how you got an agent, which is a little bit before that.
Yeah, and about the time, I think before I got an agent, you had got in touch with me and reviewed the book, and so this journey really started with readers finding and discovering the book and spreading the word. It took another notch when people such as yourself and Boing Boing and Gizmodo, Joe Brown at Gizmodo found the book and promoted it, and then agents and the sales were just going crazy, and we started taking offers from publishers, and we turned those down because it always felt like they were a month behind in their offer. These offers were offers I would have tripped over myself to accept a month prior. By the time the offer came, my earnings had gone up, and that kept happening, and so they were always just like a month behind. And then the Ridley Scott deal happened. That was in May, and I think we announced it in June. And then Random House in the UK was about the same time.
Right.
And so the offers from U.S. publishers were going up with each of these announcements, and we kept holding out. And finally, they hit 7 figures, and my wife was like, "Are you really saying no to that?"
I've worked with you while you wrote, and you're turning down $1 million. I can hear it. That's an awesome conversation.
But no, she was very proud of me, for sticking with it, and I was lucky to have an agent in Kristen Nelson who would walk away from the money. That was her money she's walking away from as well.
I think you're going to owe her an apology after what you said on the Huffington Post yesterday, and then what you're telling me today. Her slush pile. I mean, the first thing I'm thinking is an indie author. Well, I know who I'm sending my stuff to.
They should, though. I mean,
seriously.
And some of those query letters are going to be from successful indies who want to negotiate. But what I've found from being in this is a lot of the reason for rejections is a lot of times agents are just too busy. Has nothing to do with you or your book.
Right.
Kristen might take on 2 clients in a year.
Right.
If that happens in January, and you submit in March, that's
right.
Don't take it personally. It's just time constraints. So after the 7-figure deals, Simon & Schuster came at us with what we'd wanted all along, what we told publishers we were wanting, which we heard was never going to happen from a big 6 publisher, and that was to take the print deal, the print rights, and leave me with the digital rights and all the foreign and film and all that intact. Just take the print book and do what publishers do best,
Now, they had done that with John Locke, right? They had done that a couple other times, or is this really a new deal for you?
Yeah, this is the first time this was done by a big 6 publisher. Some of the history, what John Locke got was a distribution deal with Simon & Schuster.
Okay.
So, Tucker Max did something similar with Simon & Schuster. Bella Andre should get credit as getting one of the first major print-only deals with Harlequin.
Right.
Even with that deal, people said, well, Harlequin has that flexibility. This will never happen with a major publisher.
Right.
I consider Harlequin a major publisher. This is just industry parlance. I think the next exciting step will be to see if some of the publishers who said they would never do this don't want to be left out. And if a Random House makes this offer, within the next year, I'm going to, send flowers to whoever gets that deal.
Right. Right.
And I'm going to send flowers to whatever editor at Random House makes it happen, because I know how hard it can be to do these things, and it's just exciting for authors that progress is being made on these fronts.
Right. Well, it's certainly it's, to me, it's interesting financially, and this is something I know I've said to you privately, because they left you what they know better than anyone else, as you said in the Huffington Post, that this is the growing end of the market, right? And they left that to you, and they took the shrinking end of the market. But I guess you'd such a proven commodity that was an okay deal in this instance. It'll be interesting to see if other authors can get that enough traction to actually convince a publisher to take the short end of the stick in some sense.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Colleen Hoover, who has sold twice as many books as I have.
Right.
She got the same print only deal from Simon and Schuster after me.
Right.
So this is not a one-off. It's something. John Locke and Bella Andre are part of this process, and when Random House gives or HarperCollins gives one of these deals to someone, that's going to be another momentous. Whoever that is should be celebrated, and not just be, oh, they got another one of these. It's another ratchet.
Right. Right. So where do you think this is going? I mean, how do you think this actually becomes sustainable?
That's a good question. I think I love these John D. MacDonald stories. This Travis McGee mystery series back,
right.
I think in the 70s that they came out, and I read them all. And what he did is help people recover money that was not legitimate, and he got to keep half. And everyone was like, "That's my money. Why do you get half?" And his argument was, half of something is better than all of nothing. You're
right.
not going to get anything back.
Right.
So I think what publishers are going to see, my print-on-demand book was showing up in bookstores, and I could have lived off of my print sales.
Right.
And that was only, the trajectory on that was this direction.
Right.
And I think what publishers are going to have to maybe decide is whether they want to let indies stay indies or make them into hybrids. And that's I think we shouldn't be all self-publishing or all traditional publishing. Both have advantages.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm finding that, to be honest, with my personal finance book, it's done exceedingly well for on the Kindle side of things, but getting the traction on the paperback side of things has been very difficult.
What's the name of that book again? Can you?
How to Manage Your Money When You Don't Have Any.
Yeah, so I've read the first few chapters. I love that book, but I read the first few chapters. Yeah, and then I started having all this money, and I thought, I don't need it.
I don't know about that.
I'm kidding. It's a great book, though. Everyone should check it out.
It's been good. So, what's next for you? I mean, the whole Silo series, is that done in book 9, or are you going to continue that forward? Do you have an idea yet? What are you thinking?
Yeah, it's going to wrap up and it'll be a trilogy when it's done. Wool
right.
is the first book, Shift
right.
is the second. Shift is done, is available now
right.
here through print on demand and ebooks, and will come out overseas in a major release from Random House in April, and Dust will be out before the end of the year, and then I'm on to my next thing. But I've got a surprise on how I'm going to leave the world and invite readers in a very intimate way.
Excellent. That's cool. So, are you walking around in the world now going, "Oh, that might be fun to write about"? Or are you to that stage yet? Or are you still just stuck in the silo? I got to finish it.
No, I have so many book ideas, and I have
awesome.
several other books that are already started. I'm
right.
95% through another book. So, it's just finding the time for it all. I want to write 5 books a year.
Yep. I was going to say, how are you doing on writing time right now? This with book tour and all that stuff. Is that good to be away from home and be in a hotel where you can write, or is that a bad thing?
No, I mean, it works fine. I've replaced my day job with a promotional full-time job, so I'm still
right.
doing 2 jobs. One's writing and one's
right.
Hanging out with cool people like you and getting
right.
on radio and doing book signings, and that's just replaced my job of shelving books for a living.
Right.
People are really, the reason the story is done so well is I get so many emails from people who say they don't read science fiction. Female readers
right.
who fall in love with Juliet.
Right.
older readers who like that these aren't young kids in a love triangle.
Right.
People who like
count me in that group.
Me too.
I'm tired of the love triangles. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are more other tensions in romance you can use, and this is more from the Romeo and Juliet style of, for a forbidden love kind of thing. Not that the romance is the heart of the story, but every good story should have some kind of love in it, and shouldn't involve a girl who has like everything in the world possible thrown at her, and is miserable for it.
Right.
I have two hunks who love me.
Right.
My life sucks.
Yeah, that has actually it's funny because it's so gendered in the way you read it. Like if I talk to guys about Katniss Everdeen and that whole series, I'm one of the guys who's just like, I totally identify with PETA, and I think he's a complete sap. I just wish that he would just be like, get over her and go find somebody who's worth your attention. But you talk to a woman who's read that book, and they're just like, it's the coolest book ever. She's so strong, and she's the center of this universe. I'm like, I hate it. So,
hey, my fantasy is to have like. I'm lucky I got one beautiful woman to get interested in me, so I can't.
No,
I guess
I'm there too.
Maybe for guys, we can't imagine having two girls who were into us. We just want one. Just give me one.
Let's say, especially geek guys writing, apocalyptic and nerdy fiction, right? Yeah, we're going. Yeah, if we get one, we're
like, don't mind my comic book collection, baby. Just like
right. You'll still love me anyways if I wear this Darth Vader helmet out tonight, right?
That's what I love about the Big Bang Theory. Like all the comic book scenes, where Penny's in the comic book shop. It's just all the guys are. It's so realistic. Yeah. I drag my wife into comic book shops, and every head just turns.
Right. There's a woman in here?
That's your sister, right?
So true. That's so true. That's awesome.
So that's the cool thing that's going on for me right now is that Wool is doing well outside of the genre. That people who don't read this are loving it, and older readers, because it's more of a Cormac McCarthy literary style of writing, and I just could be happier, man. Today's like one of the biggest days of my life, and it's also the biggest day for the book. We need like as many people to pick this up this week as possible to have any chance of bookstores stocking it and putting it in it. So, this would be great if you're in a bookstore and you see it, like reshelve it, make it more visible, put it on the center table,
turn it sideways so people can see it, huh?
Right.
Yeah, there you are. All right, so all your fans are now running down to all the Barnes and Nobles around town and making sure that book sells. That's awesome.
It's chaos.
So, well, there you go. You gotta invite your readers to take pictures of all the displays in all the stores and start posting them.
Yeah, I didn't even have to ask. They started doing that when the book showed up in Australia and like the UK, because I couldn't see my own book release overseas. So.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. So how's the travel treating you? How's family life? How are you doing personally with all this stuff?
It's exhausting, but I don't know if you could tell, but I'm just like giddy about it all. This is a dream come true, and I can't imagine an author saying like, "Oh, this is horrible," going on an international book tour. Right,
where you get to be the center of attention and everyone talks to you and they want you to sign your books. Yeah. I mean, that's the dream.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
For me, like, oh, this is just but I know some guys do, like James Patterson. He was with my publicist in the UK the week before I got there. So like I show up and she's got gem stories, and they hung out with the royal family one day, and I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
Now you're spending a day hanging out with me. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but surely, surely for Jem. I call him Jem now because he's my publicist is his publicist. Right. Surely for Jem, book tours are just exhausting and work. But for me, this might be the only one I ever go on. I'm at Disney World.
That's awesome. So what do you have on tap for your day today? This is the big day. What's going on?
Well, let's see. I was on radio this morning. Yep. I'm on in Kansas City. I'm ahead of my release stop there tomorrow. I'm with you today. I I've got signing at in Houston, and then it's just one thing after the other from there. It's a flight every day. It's like Houston, Kansas City, Chicago, and 12 cities. You know, it's insane.
And no Portland stop. I mean, you get to Seattle. You're close. You're 3 hours
I know,
away.
I'm so
I was
close.
like, well, and actually that week I may be able to run up to Seattle, so I might wave at you in Elliott Bay Books. That'd be fun.
Yeah, but man, don't go through too much trouble. I'm going to make it to Portland because Powell's has been so good to me.
There you go. The
scheduling
has been huge.
Yeah, they're incredible. But the scheduling has been so complex that like Boston's a big place. I've got to go. DC, Philly. So what I might do, even if Simon & Schuster won't foot the bill, I might take myself on a second tour.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, gotta hope my wife's not watching this.
Bring her with you on that one, right?
Yeah, right.
Bring her out.
Maybe we'll do that this summer, and we'll make a vacation out of it.
That would be awesome. Portland would be a great place to come. Well, have fun. Enjoy the day.
Thanks, man.
Good luck. And we'll keep in touch with you here at GeekDad and follow what's going on. And everyone go out and take pictures and show Hugh what his book likes, and move the books around. Get them on that center. If they're not in the center table, go talk to the bookstore manager and get them on the center table. We'll go from there.
If they're not carrying it, order 10 copies and tell them you'll pay when they come in.
That's right.
And give them a fake name.
There you go. It's perfect.
Hey, thanks so much, and thanks for everything you guys have done. It's been just a thrill to, and congrats on your own writing. But it's been a thrill to have your support for a whole year.
Keep in touch, and we'll talk to you soon.
Cool. Thanks, man.
All right.
All right.